Welcome, Commanders. I'm Bender. I'm the boss Wolpertinger, game director of Survivor Mercs, and together with my team, we have been developing Survivor Mercs now for 1 year in early access, which is crazy. We are extremely proud of the achievements of the team, but we are also extremely proud of our community and the players who support Survivor Mercs from day one.
How does it feel to hit the 1-year milestone with Survivor Mercs? And what are your thoughts on your fans' support?
We are extremely proud of the achievements we made and of course of our players and the community who is supporting this game throughout this already first year of early access. And a big thanks goes to the Wolpertingers, to my team, to everybody who's working on the game on a daily basis. But of course also to the people at Wandering Wizard and Snail Games USA who really support us, who are very helpful and really believe in the game like we do as the developers. In the end, I'm most grateful for the fans and about our players, because we have so many people who are following our journey basically from day one, that this is something that I'm really grateful for, and I think it's a really, really great achievement as well for us to have such a great audience to work for. So time flies, and it's actually a little bit scary to look back and see how much the game has evolved and how much work went into it over the past year and the time before that.
What were some major milestones and achievements that Survivor Mercs has reached over the past year?
I think the biggest achievement is actually releasing 5 major updates already throughout the past year, and these were really, really big updates with new features and content and a lot of changes to the game. Personally, I'm also really emotional, and also the team is really emotional about the fact that there were popular streamers picking up the game and showing it to you, and seeing people play the game like Wonderbots or Ko or Baru, Kimmy. A lot of cool people really streamed the game, and I think they were generally also interested in it, which was really, really great for me and the team to see. So this is also something we consider a big achievement. And in the end, I think it's really, really challenging to develop a game in early access together with the community to really make sure that we are discovering the fun together and constantly changing and adjusting the game and creating new content. And I'm really grateful, and I think we can be really glad that we are in a situation where we can do this together with the players out there. So I hope that we will, of course, be able to continue that for quite a while.
Have there been any standout contributions from the community that have particularly impressed or inspired you?
I think we have some really creative players out there who are constantly showing us some really fun OP builds that are breaking the game, sometimes completely. And I think special thanks really goes out to everyone who reports bugs and who's reporting issues and sharing ideas with us, because I think that is in the end the best contribution overall people could bring to us during this early access phase of Survivor Mercs. And of course we're working a lot more on the lore and on characters and on trying to really make something that people can fall in love with, create heroes that our players would like to maybe share some fan art or maybe even cosplay these guys. Of course this would be the biggest achievement as well, and something we would hold very close and dear to our hearts, and not soliciting fan art here, but if you want to, please go ahead.
What exciting new features, content, or updates can players look forward to in the near future?
We have some really big things actually planned, and one of the first things we want to do is restructure the operations. So you will actually fly into battle in your helicopter with your squad. You will take the time in helicopter to actually configure and focus more on the tactical choices, whereas once you drop into the map and you fight the enemies, you're really focusing on the frantic action of the game and don't have to worry too much about, okay, where do I go next, and how do I spend my upgrades now in this hectic action. And we want to basically separate these two things, make sure that both of them can exist and have a really like a nice rhythm to the whole gameplay and to your runs. And on the other hand, of course, you will be able to save much more loot from each operation in your helicopter and basically invest it into building your squad in a much deeper and more meaningful way. Of course, we will also introduce new challenges, new things you can do on the map, basically. So you're not just running around for 20 minutes capturing stuff, but you may go in and have to, for example, survive for a certain amount of time, or capture a specific objective, or fend off a certain amount of enemies, or tackle like mini bosses or interesting challenges, capture very special objectives and new ones that you haven't seen before. The other big thing that we're doing is we want to create more narrative framing and lore. So we want to introduce story missions that are centered around the bosses and the mercenaries, and really want to make sure you can immerse yourself much deeper into the game's fantasy of fighting these evil corporations and saving humanity with your ragtag band of mercenaries. And all of this will come with what I think are some really cool new additions to the UI and some style improvements overall. The current thing we're still doing is trying to keep the game in a structure where we can quickly still iterate and do things. And of course, the further we go down with the early access, the further we develop these core systems and we're happy with them, the more we want to make sure we are really refining the UI, the style, and how the game presents itself to you. Plus, there will be new mercenaries and new maps. All the new maps come, of course, with new bosses and mini bosses and new challenges, new music tracks, of course, as well. We want to make sure that you can really enjoy the game for hours on end and just enjoy some additional content and some fresh content as well over the course of this early access.
Can you share any behind-the-scenes stories or challenges the development team has faced during the past year?
Interesting story is actually how we started with the game idea and thought about blending two genres, the horde survival and kind of an extraction shooter with a squad-based tactical gameplay, was something we thought was really interesting, but in the end it was the great player feedback that helped us understand where the strengths and weaknesses of our design are and how mixing these genres was not always working out as we expected it to. But over the course of the early access and now in the future, we know that we can make the game much more concise and make sure it meets the expectations set out by these genre tropes much more clearly. And I truly believe that using early access to develop a game with your players and get this great opportunity to immediately take their feedback and make it into the game or transfer it into the game. I think even when it means that stuff is breaking or changing a lot and you have to kill your own ideas often, I think it's really good because you get this immediate audience feedback and you just know what vibes with the players and what you guys out there actually like to play.
What are your future plans for Survivor Mercs? Are there any long-term goals or upcoming features that you're excited for?
So, future plans, I already mentioned the part, definitely the story missions and the lore, together with the structural operations overhaul and just in general adding more squad build variety. I'm also really looking forward to improving our support for streamers with an improved Twitch integration and things like putting your own custom sprites into the game. So there's things that are not just directly gameplay mechanics, but also something that enable our players and also particularly streamers to enjoy the game together with others. We also want to make the game much more accessible and inclusive. This not just means adding input remapping, which is something we have on our list and we're tackling quite soon, hopefully, but also really making sure everybody can play the game how they want to play it without diluting the core experience. And I think our most ambitious goal is trying to enable a couch co-op experience, making sure people can play together when they have friends over, or just allow somebody to jump into the game real quick and pick it up and play basically together. And in the end, I think personally I would be mostly really grateful if the game just finds the right audience and enables us to expand it with more content, with more features, even after version 1.0 launch and release. That is something I think that I would really appreciate a lot if we get the chance to continue developing the game even after launch.
How has player feedback shaped recent updates and future plans? Can you share examples of community input influencing the game's development?
Most obviously, it was that we were able to fix some really weird bugs, only because the community was reporting them to us in great detail. We just recently shipped the Arsenal update, which brought actively controlled commando weapons to the game. And this was a feature that was heavily influenced by player feedback. I think we found a great way to match these wishes for more control over the squad and participating more actively in the battle without really diluting the core game idea of having a squad and leading a squad of mercenaries into battle. And of course, I also, and not only me, but also the rest of the team really enjoys reading and watching everything about the game to, not just for the fun, but also to analyze it. Since we're so close to the game as developers, we see it daily, also looking behind the scenes. I think we just sometimes cannot gauge anymore how difficult or grindy some aspects of the game may be, especially for new players. And this is where player feedback really also influenced how we tackle it and how we try to reset our point of view to continue designing and developing the game. And last but not least, balancing is heavily influenced by player feedback. Again, we're so close, sometimes we don't really see how the difficulty progresses anymore. And this is something we will continue doing in the future, for example, by addressing how the bunker building and unlock progression generally evolves over the future updates in early access. And ideally helps us focus more on the fun parts of the game and just reduces the grind, makes everything just flow more easily. Question number 8.
Are there any upcoming events, contests, or community activities that fans should be aware of? How can they get involved?
We run regular events with the community on the Wandering Wizard Discord server and in the Steam forums and the Steam community for Survivor Mercs. And I want to invite you to join the Wandering Wizard Discord server and the forum, be active in the forums and interact with us. We have definitely some plans around some of the upcoming features with community activities that are both in the realm of competitions, but also ideally some creative challenges.
Who would you like to acknowledge or thank for their contributions to the game's development and success?
Yeah, of course I have to thank my team and the Wandering Wizard team. Without you, there would be no game, let's be fair. And I know how much effort everybody really puts into this project every day and into this game to make sure it can become a really, really good game now and also in the future. Another big shout out, of course, goes to our friends at Active Fungus Studios, another Munich indie developer who is making I think, awesome music for the game and really supports us there as well with something that is really, really fun. In the end, I think the biggest thank you goes out to our players and our community, because there are some members, specifically want to name two, like Derzwo and the Games Detective, who really provide so much great feedback and insights into how they play the game as somebody who's really like in the late game. So they really inspire us and challenge us also to make a great game. And this is, I think, something I'm really, really grateful for. Again, thanks to everybody who's playing our game, who's playing Survivor Mercs, and just telling us their honest opinions. We only do this early access to really make a game that you want to play, that our players want to play, not a game for ourselves. So I hope that you're as excited as I am and as we are as a team for the future of Survivor Mercs. I really hope we can continue making a better game together with you guys, with our players. And we really hope you will tag along on this journey with us. And please follow the game on Steam by clicking that little follow button, and never miss out on any of the updates or of the roadmap news. We want to continue posting primarily to Steam, so we really have our players get the updates first. And please also join our community on Discord to get in touch with us, to talk directly with us, to participate in discussion with the other players, to share your ideas, to share your feedback, and to really participate in the development. Or if you want to also just hang out and chat also about other games, we're always interested to get in touch and want to hear your opinions and who you are, what you like as our players. So yeah, thanks everybody. Commanders, over and out.